Part of the joy of life's journey is the discovery that comes along the way. Fortunately, we get opportunities to fine-tune, to shift gears. And that's kind of been the story of my art journey. I have shifted gears, and now as I get deeper and further along the path, I start to see the pieces kind of come together from the past. So maybe I'm starting to see everything is helpful along the way. And there's certainly been times when I've felt like, oh, well, that, was a waste of time, or I'm just giving up on that. That didn't serve me. But I think when you step back and you have a little bit of a higher perspective, maybe there's more to it. When I was in my 40s, I went through a divorce, and art really became my therapy. I started by spraying canvases with brightly colored dyes. I really didn't care what they looked like, but it made me feel better. I did the same thing on large watercolor paper. These are 18 by 24 sheets, and I would use stencils and stamps. And it was really an easy kind of carefree process, not too much thought involved. And, I just loved using the color and blending the color in wet media. It just, I don't know, somehow it was what I needed at the moment. I didn't really have any goal in mind other than to just create for creation's sake. And what you're seeing here are some of my wood collages. So I took the same technique that I used on the canvas and the paper, and I sold a couple of these wood collages, and I began to percolate with the idea of, maybe I could be an artist. This is my first art studio. I added it on to my house because it was so hot doing all that sawing and sanding in the garage. And you'll notice here that I actually embedded some of my art paper into the walls of the studio. It's a very rare moment that my studio was this clean. And my art soon found its way on tables and cabinets and some other things. I had a lot of this watercolor paper hanging around, so I decided to collage them into fish people. Fish people were a lot of fun. I created a whole school of fish people. In fact, I created so many fish people, they started getting together on their own. Then one day, I bought a macro lens for my camera, and I was just amazed at how my art could look so different through that lens. And I just kind of went crazy taking pictures. And I also took an online print design class, pattern design, to learn how to make textile fabric prints. I just loved how the colors looked on the digitally printed silk. And soon, a business was born, I Susan Art Scarves. And I dove in deep. I designed over 50 scarves. Yes, the fish appeared again. And then I did a couple lines of t-shirts. And next thing you know, I'm translating those designs onto dye sublimated printed metals and greeting cards and just general signage for my art studio. I really began to fall in love with Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, Lightroom, and the creative freedom and control that these programs gave me. I loved collage. These are from my wine poster series. And I know that digital work is going to be something that I could continue to explore for quite some time. I'm really not sure where this whole thing is going, but I do see an even greater synergy of bringing together story with art, with photography, and maybe you can hear the airplanes kind of roaring overhead. I do live by Charlotte Douglas International Airport. So it's kind of hard to escape it, but it's kind of appropriate because maybe the planes are taking off. I am definitely looking forward to what is next in this chapter of my life.